All right. So, like I said, I have to jet early today, so I'm going to try to fly through this as fast as I can. In this giant topic, I'll take a swig of coffee first. All right. As predicted via all the teasers dropped last week, we have our newest Haslab. Yes, it seems like every time one Haslab ends, another begins. Our newest one comes via the Marvel team, the Marvel Legends team, and this is Giant Man, aka Ant-Man, for $199, standing 24 inches tall. He will come with a number of articulation points, 91 to be exact, different face plates that you can just swap out. And then on the tiering system for unlockables, there will be a zombie head at 12,000 backers, a scroll head at 14,000 backers, and unfortunately, I think they are not going to be full-on head sculpts, even though apparently this is out at Disney somewhere. Like, you can go to Disney World and they have it on display, and it looks like there's different head sculpts, but I don't believe you're getting the whole entire head. All these pieces will be swapping out somehow. Don't know how they're going to do that. So, actually, let's pull up Mega J Retro. He did a video on this, and what I liked is he made his own graphic doing a size comparison. So he's at 24 inches. Sentinel was 26.34, and Galactus, I think that's supposed to be a 32. So it is smaller than the other two. The other two that went for 350 and 400, I want to say, respectively. We can check on that right now. So Sentinel went for... the price was on the app. I'm going to say it was 350 and 400. But somebody can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. So it is a lot less than the others. Currently, 3 days later, it is almost at 50% to goal. Before I go into all my thoughts, Rick James says that we will never be compromised. I appreciate that. Dre says, giant disappointment. Rick James says, I'm not saying a word about this Haslab. You said your words, Dave. Sorry. Damn it. I broke it. You said your words, Rick James. I've seen them. I seen it. Aaron says, it's just got to be a face swap somehow. Look at his face. Yeah. Yes. Secret of the Ooze. Patrick says, I'm a fan of this. Doesn't fit into my collection, but I like it for its attempt. T3 on Kick said, easily backed. So, I drag Haslabs through the mud on a regular. I have been wrong about quite a few. I was wrong about the Hiss tank when it first came out. I was like, I don't understand why this is such a big deal. Backed like crazy. They announced the Dragonfly, and I said that's doesn't quite make sense to me, but it backed like crazy. The Ghost, I was absolutely wrong. Backed like crazy. And then I came into the scene around the Rancor time. So I witnessed the Rancor fail. I witnessed the Reva Saber fail. And I witnessed the Engine of Vengeance fail. So right now, this will back. Giant Man will 1,000% back. I think, and I said it on Instagram in case anybody doesn't remember. Sorry, my nose is so itchy today. I think this is a good release. I don't think it's a great release. I think this is a nice palate cleanse in the saga that is crowdfunding figures, playsets, etc. By the way, I didn't talk about the Mattel one because I didn't really... One, I don't collect Motu, so I wasn't paying attention, and that voting thing's over, so that's why I didn't talk about it. In the saga of crowdfunds, this is a palate cleanser. This one is, if you're at a wrestling event, you just watched a TLC match of the Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian, and before the main event of Austin versus The Rock, they gave you Goldust versus D'Lo Brown. Both great wrestlers. Both do the job. Both people we like. But that's your calm moment before a main event. This Haslab is playing it safe. It is a calm moment. The price point of $200 is, I think, more than fair relative to everything else we've gotten. Do I think, in theory, it's wild to pay $200 for a 2-foot figure? Kinda. But relative to the field, it's not crazy. I think that I want to back this because I'm hoping that Hasbro does more affordable Haslabs. Again, $200, debatable whether that's affordable, but way better than $300 for a figure, $350 for a car, $450, $500 for a ship that's going to stay in a box. Like, I think this one checks all the right boxes. Going back, I keep jumping tabs and I need to leave one on this screen. Going back to the Ghost for a second. Shout out to JB's Toy Trunk, of course, as always. JB was talking about this in his last video. And one of the reasons he didn't back the Ghost was you get these beautiful card back figures to go with your Ghost. Are you taking these figures out? Like, you want to do all these things. You want to put the figures in the Ghost. You want to do things with the Ghost. So when you get this, can you even use the figures with the Ghost? Do you have to buy 2 of these things so you can take some off card, keep some on card? Welcome, Legacy. Good to see you. So it gets kind of ridiculous. Like, you really start debating buying 2 just so you can have a set of figures on card, set of figures off card. Kind of ridiculous. Not his point. It's a great point. But the idea, like, what am I going to do with these when I get them? Is everything going to stay in box? Where this figure at $200 is one that easily comes out of the box, easily breeds, easily gets put into various photos, can be put with different teams. I think this is a win. I think this is as safe of a win as Marvel could have done. T3 says Ghost is too expensive. Engine of Vengeance for $350 last year. Bad pricing. If the Engine of Vengeance was this price, it would have backed. I would have bought it for this price. It looked dope. And now Ramen Toys is going to make it and make their money on it at $200. So Marvel, who has been struggling I don't have the numbers to prove it, but I think we all see the shelves. We all go to Ollie's. We know what's up. Marvel has been struggling, and they needed to prove they could make a Haslab that would back that after everything that's happened over the last, year or two post Galactus, they could get a W overall. And honestly, when I saw this, I was even thinking, damn, should I go back and buy like those old school looking Captain America, Iron Man, that Hawkeye with the ship thing? Should I buy all those to go with this to be kind of like Earth's Mightiest Heroes? Like, should I get those? I don't know. JB says he backed the ramen racer at the early bird. Yeah, I should have. T3 says those figures the Marvel Legends team made will be used in the near future. Ryan said on live stream, so we're getting Mephisto. There you go. I think it's a win. It's not the greatest Haslab. It's not. I was thinking about it. I was in the group chat with the fellas, and Sal was in Dre's stream live, and he was like, oh, they were just saying the same thing. I was thinking, a Blackbird, because ships and vehicles are selling, apparently. Look at Star Wars and G.I. Joe. I was like, maybe they're going to do a Blackbird or maybe a Danger Room type thing. And apparently you guys mentioned those as well. But I think this one, on the Marvel side, they've had success with large scale figures. And that's where they're like, you know what? Let's just do another large scale figure that is a safe bet. We're setting it at 10,000, not even going for 14, 20, just 10,000, 200 bones, make it happen. And it's going to back. The one ad that I wanted for this was I wanted, even though it's not the same uniform, a black and blue beat up head sculpt, because I would have him on the ground as though Captain America just lit him up like he did in the Ultimate comic books after he beat Wasp in his little DV moment. I would love that. That I would love. But even with the tiers, like the zombie one, I have zombie Iron Man. I'm debating going to get zombie Cap and zombie Wanda to put next to this, just like in the picture. Like a figure like this kind of makes you want to be a completionist. You want this classic looking Cap to go with him versus some of the more MCU Caps that you may have on your shelf. Maybe you do go buy that Spider-Woman and whoever the scroll guy is in that 2-pack, because you want to have a scroll display. Maybe you buy more than one. I'm not sure. But I think I say this is a win. I say this is a safe bet win for the Marvel Legends team. And I'm hoping that when it backs, they say, all right, let's take it up a notch on the next one. I'm not saying you go for another $400, whatever you decide to do. Like maybe there's another giant character. Maybe we revisit a smaller scale vehicle at a more reasonable price. Maybe that's what happens next when they see, all right, these people see $200 as affordable versus they don't see $350 as affordable. They definitely don't see $500 the way the Star Wars fans do, back in the Ghost. But I'm hoping that this thing backing can bring more affordable figures you won't find on shelves. I think a tier they could have added, people have been shitting on the tiers, I get it. A tier they could have added was an Ant-Man, to this scale. Like he comes with the small version and Giant Man version. I think that would have been good. Like I said, the head sculpts with the beat up look on his face, I would have taken that. But Oh, and the other one I was thinking of was if they made because in that episode, Dre, you guys were talking about embracing the X-Men 97 stuff. I was like, oh, what if they made a Sentinel more along the lines of the animated series? But I wonder if they would think, oh, we're going to piss off the people who bought the last Sentinel because you kind of thought that's as close to the animated series as I'm going to get versus another one just came out. But at the same time, I think an animated series Sentinel, if they priced it at $200, take away some articulation points, you don't need 91 points. If you make an animated series Sentinel at this scale or matching the last one, take away articulation, take away some of the extra figures, and you get that at like 150, people are buying two. Hands down. Hands down. Like almost, I feel like take away tiers, lower the price so that we know what you're getting out the gate. And if it's a freebie, you know, whatever it is, make sure it doesn't break the bank. But 150 Sentinels, mint. That would be mint. This Haslab was always going to be part of the Avengers 60th anniversary. There you go. Patrick says, I would like to see the box art the way Sentinel and Galactus came out. Yeah, those were great boxes. He's an art junkie. Dave said, damn it. Rick James says, zombie figs are a major draw for me. Zombie Cap is still the GOAT for me in the last 2 years. Yeah. Dre says, I would have liked them making a 1/8, 1/12 scale figures. You mean a Giant Man? Like, we see one of those. By the way, I picked up Zombie Cap. Like, he was at my Target. He's down to $7. Or not Zombie Cap, Zombie Iron Man. So, if you saw him around, if you guys remember seeing him around, go back and price scan him. But, yeah. Like I said, I knew very controversial. I saw the streams. You guys were very passionate about Giant Man. Very passionate about it being a mediocre release. And I don't disagree with that. It is very mediocre. But I think in the current day and age of, despite what the news says, there is a tightening of the wallet happening right now. They know it. We know it. They being the toy company, Hasbro in this case. We all know it. And student loans are starting back up. Best believe there were people buying Haslabs, buying figures, that instead of putting that money towards student loan balances, just buying things you don't really need because you love it. And I don't blame you for it. But all that's next year is going to be really interesting, economics wise for the country. Very interesting. And I think Hasbro in this case was very self-aware of that. So Dan Yun, Steve over on the Marvel Legends team, hats off to you. I think this was a good call. I think it was a good call. Because I think anything smaller, not a vehicle, but anything kind of smaller figure-wise, if you priced it at like 150, 100, I would say, why not just put that on shelves? And then at the same time, if the Haslab was a Blackbird at 450, 500, you're almost like, one, you're shitting on the Star Wars team because people would be like, fuck, I wish I would have saved my money and got the Blackbird over the Ghost. I truly believe that. So you're kind of shitting on them. Two, you're also not making it crazy expensive in case people broke the bank on the Ghost and need to recoup some money. So you're sliding in there, $200. People can skip a wave of something and buy this. Palate cleanser. LeBron says, I wish the PR team would get a Haslab, meaning Power Rangers. Yeah. I have my ideas. Go back and watch that video with Legacy. We talk about it. Legacy talks about it. He has a video, top Haslabs he would want. At this stage, it has to be Mighty Morphin. Anything else, debatable. And I think it has to be sub 300. You know, Power Axe and Power Bow, we know that's the rumor. But I think they're playing with fire if going into the end of this year. Because ideally, they would announce it when this one's about to end or maybe when it ends. So you're going into Christmas and you're asking for $300, $400, $500. It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. So maybe wait till next year, see how things are, figure it out. But, you know, just give us the Green Ranger helmet with some cool display and the Sword of Darkness. 300. 250. 250. I think people go for it. I really don't mind all the MMPR because it pays for more obscure stuff I want. 1,000%. 1,000%. All of these things need casuals to buy them. At the end of the day, you need casuals to buy into whatever you're doing to have success. If you don't have the casuals, you got nothing. And with Power Rangers, the casuals are MMPR. The hardcores are like space and after. But once Tommy's out of the picture, like team-wise, that's your hardcore fan base.